Hi, my name is Jeremy Hancock. This is a sequence of short videos which just show the user experience with OneDrive for Business on a number of different devices and types of machine. To do that, we're going to go through a simple scenario. Let's start with Microsoft Windows. Yes, I'm using Windows 10, but it doesn't really matter whether it's Windows 10, 8 or 7. Also, you could be using Office 2013, 2016 or just the browser. Okay, on this PC, I'll start up Internet Explorer and we're going to connect to Office 365. Once I've connected, we're going to go to OneDrive. This will open my OneDrive for Business library on Office 365. And you can see here I've got a number of documents already created. On this machine, I've got Microsoft Office 2016 installed, but whether it's 2016 or 2013, you should have OneDrive for Business as a client. So if I double click on that, you'll see that I'm synchronizing my OneDrive for Business library on Office 365 with a local folder on my PC. This is very similar to the way the consumer OneDrive works, or Dropbox, or any of those types of applications. So that means I can work locally on my files, and when I connect to the network, those will automatically synchronize back to Office 365. So what we're going to do is create a new document. It's going to be a services proposal. And with that document, I'm going to create it in the rich client, and it's going to synchronize to OneDrive for Business, and I'm going to share it with an external party, and I'm going to work on that document with somebody outside of my organization. So let's say I want to start filling in the technical approach. One of the nice things about Office is that you can use add-ins, and Microsoft are extending that so it can be used across not only the Windows applications but also the browser and iPad and other versions of Office that are available. So if I click on add-ins, I can see that I've subscribed to this Wikipedia add-in, and it appears in the task pane on the right hand side. If I click a word inside my document, it'll go and search Wikipedia for that particular word, or I can just type in a word. And when I do that, I can drill into it. And let's say that I want to take some of this content and use it inside my document. I just simply highlight the information, click on the plus, and it will go and put the information into my Word document. And it will also include a reference to that. So let's say I also want to use the image, because that doesn't come across by itself. So I can just click on the plus for the image, and that'll also automatically get inserted into my document. Alright, so let's decide now that we want to save this as a draft, and then we're going to share it with somebody outside the organization. You can see that Office knows about my account on Office 365, and I can select OneDrive, and you'll see that all those documents that we saw earlier are there. So let's give it a file name. Right, so we've saved our document. Let's close Microsoft Word now. And now you can see in OneDrive we have our proposal document for a company. I think I'd like to create a folder to share rather than just share that document by itself. So let's go and create a new folder. And we might move this document into that folder. Okay, so here's my document, and now I'm going to click on sharing, and I'm going to invite somebody to work with me on this document. All I need is the email address of the person. Now if you require them to sign in, they either have to be using a Windows Live account, a Microsoft organizational account. So in this case I'll just make it anonymous, so what it will do is email a link to this person, and only a person with that link can access the document. Right, you can see that I've shared it using a guest link, so in a moment or two that user will receive an email and then will be able to access the document. In the meantime, if I just click on the document, it will open in the browser rather than in the client. So all of the Office applications are available just using a web browser, and they work pretty well. And let's say that I want to continue to edit it, so I'll just edit it in Word Online in this case. Let's see what it looks like from the point of view of the person at Save Give Buy. They've received an email from me which is inviting them to look at the document. So they open the email, they see the message that I sent to them, and they click on the document and it will open in the browser. So they'll go and edit the document just using the browser. Now you might notice that because I've already got it open in the browser and the person at Save Give Buy's got it open in the browser, we can edit the document simultaneously. In the top right hand corner there it says that Jeremy Hancock is also editing. So we get a real-time experience. As the person starts to type, I'll also see those edits appearing on my screen. The document automatically saves, so the user doesn't need to keep choosing File Save all the time because it's using the browser version of Word. So let's assume that the person at Save Give Buy has finished their edits now, and we'll go back to my experience in the Windows environment. So Save Give Buy have stopped doing their edits now, so I think I'm done with this. I'm just going to close the browser window. There's a few other things that I'd like you to know about OneDrive for Business. Firstly, you've got pretty much unlimited storage. 1 terabyte is the nominal maximum for the amount of data that you can store in OneDrive for Business, and Microsoft are moving to make that unlimited. So that means if you're currently using personal storage solutions which are limited to 5 gigabytes or 10 gigabytes, by using OneDrive for Business you don't need to worry about that. A few other features that you should know about. Firstly, what about finding my documents? So you can see that I've just got a list of all my documents here that I can look through. But you'll see over on the left hand side I can look at my recent documents. This shows me tiles with all the documents that I've been working on up until now. I can click on any one of these and open the document if I want to. There's some other views here. I can see documents that have been shared with me, documents that I'm following. And then there's also a recycle bin. Let's just explore what that is for a moment. What happens if I accidentally delete a document? What you'll notice here, it says, are you sure you want to send the item to the site recycle bin? That means if you accidentally delete something, you can go to your recycle bin, click on the item and say restore, and it will put it back into your OneDrive for Business folder. So that helps with being able to recover if you accidentally delete something. What about versioning? So what happens if I make a change to a document and I make a mistake and I need to recover a document at a particular version? You can just click on the ellipses here and say version history, and you'll be able to see what previous versions you've made of that document, and then you can click the drop down and view that version, or you can restore it to be the current version. So that means the combination of versioning and recycle bin means that you should never lose any of your work. Let's say I want to find the document that I've been creating. I'll type OZippy, and you'll see that it's giving me a preview of documents. See if I can see it in the list, then that's great. But let me go and say I want to search everything. Now I'll get a search view where I can get a list of all the things that match the search criteria that I put in, and I can see previews of documents. I can refine documents. I might know it's a Word document, so I can just click on Word and refine my search down to just show Word documents. And then I can also use the date, so I know that it was done in the last week, and there's my document. So it's very easy to find the things that you store in your OneDrive for Business. And the last thing I want to show is that it's not always obvious, but you can drag files into your OneDrive for Business straight from Windows Explorer. So I've got a couple of files on my local machine, and I can just highlight them and drag them across onto the browser and drop them, and they'll automatically get uploaded to OneDrive for Business. One other thing you might have noticed is that I can get a preview of my documents. So as I highlight a document in OneDrive for Business, click on the little ellipses here, you get a preview of what the document looks like. So any of the Office documents will provide that functionality. That's a quick view of what happens if I'm using Microsoft Windows. So in the next session we'll have a look at what happens with iOS devices. So in the second video, let's have a look at what happens with OneDrive for Business on an iPad. Following on from my session about using OneDrive for Business in a Windows PC, so let's imagine I'm out and about with one of my colleagues. I have an iPad and it's connected to the internet, and I need to go and have a look at that document and show him what's going on. So I can open up OneDrive on my iPad. So this is the OneDrive app. I can see all the documents and the folder that I created previously with a company proposal documents. So let's say that I want to go and open that document. I've got Office for iPad installed, and it's going to launch Word and open the document for me. Once the document's open, then I can use all the features that I would want to in Word. I can edit the document if I need to. I can even use those Office add-ins that I talked about previously, so if I wanted to reuse Wikipedia or a custom add-in, I could do that here as well. But let's say, okay, I've reviewed it with my colleague and now I just want to make a quick save. And the document's now updated. Now you can see that I could have just gone and opened the document directly from Microsoft Word. I've registered my Office 365 OneDrive for Business account inside of Office on the iPad, so I can browse all of my documents as I need to. Microsoft have created a lot of apps for iOS, and you can see that there's a number here on the screen and also some that I won't be showing in this video. So it's just worth being aware that Microsoft are putting a lot of effort into integrating the iOS environment with Office 365. So in this third video, let's have a quick look at what happens on Windows Phone 8.1. So following on from my previous videos, let's say I'm out and about and I need to check on a change that's been made to the document by Save Give By, and I open up OneDrive on my Windows Phone. I can see all the same folders and files that I was able to see previously on the other devices. I can open up my proposal and then I can read through it. A little surprisingly at this point, there isn't a true Office app for Windows Phone. Given that there is Office apps for iOS and for Android phones now, I'm expecting that with Windows 10 they'll come out with a proper application. And what that actually means is that I can't actually edit this particular document because it's got some content that's not supported. So I'm expecting the experience to get better, but at the very least you can browse and view your documents to see what's happening. So we don't get quite the same full experience as we do on the other devices, but I'm sure that will change in the near future. Okay, so let's take a look at the experience of OneDrive for Business on a Mac. I've installed the sync client on here, so if I click on the icon I can open my OneDrive for Business on Office 365 in the browser, or I can just open it in Finder. So once I've authenticated with Office 365 I can use the browser just the same as the other platforms. You can see I've got my folder there and my documents. So I can preview the document, so I can open the file from the local folder that's synced via the OneDrive for Business sync client. Now I've got the Office preview installed on this Mac, so it's the latest preview release, and I can go ahead and edit the document and add some additional information to it. Once I've added my extra information, I'll just go ahead and close Word and save the document. So the OneDrive for Business sync client will now send the changes back up to Office 365. So now that I've finished making the changes, I might decide that I no longer want to share this document with Save Give By. So I can click on the link and choose Stop Sharing. So even though I've stopped sharing it with Save Give By, you can see it still says shared. So that means that people with a link could still open the document. So in order to stop sharing it completely, I need to go and delete the unique permissions on the file. And now when I go back to my folder, we should see that that document is no longer shared. So my document's complete, and when I get back to the office tomorrow I can publish the document and send it off to the client. I hope that's given you a good idea of how you can use OneDrive for Business across all your different types of devices. Once you've completed your draft document, it may be necessary to make it a controlled document where you're putting it into a site inside of Office 365 so that it can be shared across multiple people and act as a record for your organization. In the next video we'll show a similar experience and take the document that we created and put it into SharePoint. Thanks for watching.